Hey Joe, welcome to the podcast. How you doing today, man?
Good, George. Good to see you as always.
You as well. I'm really excited to talk to you all about the Houston Safari Club Foundation, the convention coming up. But with a lot of my guests, I like to kind of give people a little bit of introduction on who you are. So I want to go back to the beginning. Tell us a little bit about where you're born and raised and kind of where you got your zest and love for the outdoors. And then we'll kind of, fill in the blanks from there.
Sure, sure. So I grew up in a small town in Northeast Louisiana, known as Monroe or Funroe, as we used to call it. Literally right across the river from the Robertson family, the Duck Commander, Duck Dynasty guys. And so I've always been aware of those guys. And I lived in central Louisiana for several years, and then we moved up to where my grandparents lived in Northeast Louisiana. And yeah, so my foundation was more so in around fishing and frog gigging and duck hunting and that sort of thing, and never was really involved in deer hunting and big game stuff as a kid. So um, actually, my mother, who was a single mom at the time, introduced me to the outdoors. She grew up on a farm, and it was always puzzling to her. We'd be driving down the road. I'd be sitting in the back seat, and I'd look out the window, and she used to always tell me, she said, I don't know what it was about you, but you would always look out the window and go, that looks like a good place to go hunt. That looks like a good place to go fishing. And I'd never done it as a young child. And so it finally got so bad that she's like, okay, I got to do this. And so when I was a kid, I had a mom that worked two jobs, but on Friday afternoons during the summer and spring, when I came home, the car was loaded with crickets and worms and fishing poles, and we went out and fished all Friday afternoons. And then as I got older, she started asking some of the men in the neighborhood, hey, would you take my kid squirrel hunting or whatever, rabbit hunting? And picture 10-year-old me walking through the swamps of Louisiana wearing white shrimping boots because that's all I had, and and chasing squirrels and rabbits till I got to the point where she would drop me off on a natural gas pipeline and drop me off in the morning with a lunch and a breakfast and pick me up at sundown, and I'd come out with a sack full of rabbits and squirrels.
That is awesome. What a great intro. And I know that area is very game rich, so that
Yeah,
was very exciting.
yeah.
So you have this love, you kind of family help to nourish that and foster that. And I mean, now you're at this point where you're helping to nurture and foster that for people all across Texas with the Houston Safari Club Foundation and multiple facets. But I kind of wanted to maybe also bridge that idea of like, how did you get into working in this outdoor sector? And then how did you eventually find yourself working as the executive director with Houston Safari Club Foundation?
Yeah, it's a weird story. I'm actually, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually a registered nurse. I started in the medical field. I did mostly dealt with cardiac patients during my medical career, and always had a vision that nursing changed. When I first started nursing years and years ago, you had nurses and you had aides on the floor, so nurses could spend time with the families and actually take care of patients, and the aides did everything else as far as feeding and daily care. That changed, with nursing shortages and the way hospitals did things. And I kind of, from that point, I was like, well, if I can't really be a nurse and give my patients, full-time attention to care, what do I want to do with my degree? So I moved into the business side of the world. I was in medical sales. I helped open one of the first outpatient IV therapy clinics in Texas. And eventually I went to work for a medical manufacturer, and that manufacturer was a global international manufacturer of hospital beds and wound healing devices. And so I ran marketing for the wound care division of that company. And the founder owner of that company called me up one day, or I approached him. I said, hey, I'd worked for him for 10 years. And this is a global international company.
Hmm.
And I was just talking to this gentleman, and I said, hey, I heard you're involved with this organization. Tell me about that. And he said, well, actually, I bought it. And so it was a whitetail based organization based here in Texas. And I said, oh, well, that's cool. And he called me up one day and said, I need you to go over here. I just bought this company, and I'm looking for somebody to go and kind of clean it up, make it more profitable, and run it. And I said, well, that sounds pretty cool. And I said, well, I'll think about it. He goes, no. He said, I need you to go do this. So it was kind of an ultimatum, if you will. And it was a great, entryway for me to move from what I did professionally in my background in marketing, sales, and operations to apply it to the outdoor world. So I did that for several years, and that was kind of how I got into it. And then eventually ended up here in 2014 as the executive director of Houston Safari Club Foundation.
And so, for those who aren't really familiar, maybe hearing about it for the first time, I'd love for you to kind of walk us through really what is the Houston Safari Club Foundation, some of the tenets and kind of main structural points of, reference of like what you do. I mean, because there's youth education, there's grants, there's so many things going on. We got the convention, but there's a lot of awareness, education, conservation that at its core. And I mean, a wonderful organization. I want you to kind of give a little bit of a 101, just kind of, and then we can kind of dive deeper a little bit from there.
Right. So the name is somewhat of a misnomer. Houston Safari Club Foundation has been around since the early 70s. We were actually a chapter of Safari Club International, and way before my time, this chapter broke off and said they wanted to do things, independently. And so the name is a little bit misleading in that, a lot of our members have never been on safari.
Right.
We have a lot of members that just hunt quail in Texas or dove or whitetail or ducks or whatever. And I have people that approach me and go, "Oh, you work for a hunting organization." Well, I have to correct that in that I work for an organization that gives back. We are
Mhm.
focused on conservation, education, and promoting the future of hunting. Um, the affinity of our membership, of course, is hunting. All of our members love to hunt. They're diehard hunters and conservationists, and I like to use those terms in tandem because, hunters are the best, as you know more than anybody, hunters are some of the best conservationists in the world. They're the ones who get active. They're the ones who spend money to support wildlife and habitat management, and those sorts of things. So the name is a little bit of a misnomer. If you've never been on safari, if you've never planned on going to Africa, never been to Africa, it doesn't matter. We welcome hunters of all skill sets, of all levels of their hunting journey. And what we are about is giving back. In fact, our tagline is "We hunt, we give." If you go to the website, it's wehuntwegive.org, and it takes you to our website. And so we raise money to give it away like most nonprofits. And where we give it away is we do conservation grants at home and abroad. We buy everything from motorcycles for anti-poaching patrols to moving sheep in West Texas and the mountains of West Texas. And so we do a lot of different conservation grants and youth education grants. And then we have our own youth education program where we actually take kids hunting and fishing, and we're expanding that over the next year. We've actually hired a full-time person who on staff here, as we're going to expand that program to not only be taking kids in the field, but presenting educational modules in the classroom, in front of 4-H groups, in front of FFA groups, and that sort of thing, because we want to reach as many kids as possible from different socioeconomic backgrounds and different upbringings. And then kind of our benchmark program, George, is our scholarship program. The Duncan Scholarship Program, it's our name of our scholarship program, was founded by a gentleman who was one of the early founders of Houston Safari Club Foundation. And he wanted to support students that are majoring in outdoor education, related majors, wildlife management, range management, biology, and help them with their education. So that's our benchmark program. We scholarship 25 students every year, typically at the master's and PhD level, but some undergrads. And they get a check in their hand. It doesn't go to the university. It goes to that student. They've completed a stringent review process. They've completed applications. They got their academic advisors have provided referrals. So we know they are dedicated to habitat and wildlife management as part of their future careers. And that's something we're really proud of all of our outreach programs. That's probably one that we're more known for. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. We raise money any which way we can to give it back in those three areas.
Well, and I'd love to talk about the idea too of how, when someone comes in, gets involved, there's a lot of different levels of being able to be a member, right? And I kind of want to walk through that and give people the option, because whatever level you get into, even at the very base, lowest level there in that digital membership there,
Right.
that those money is really going towards some amazing cause. I mean, there's millions of dollars in grants and scholarships that you guys have done. I mean, it's incredible. But I'd love to kind of talk about that for someone who wants to get in and maybe just try out, one of those lower level memberships, or those who may want to do a partnership and sponsorship levels that are higher up. If you can kind of walk through those tiers and maybe what that represents as membership.
Yeah, so you hit it there. We've done over 4 million in grants. We've done over 3 million, almost 4 million in scholarships now. And then we have a pretty robust conservation or grants budget as well. But we wanted to be able to reach. We've actually kind of restructured our memberships in the past several years. We wanted to reach everybody at every level that
Mhm.
wants to be part of who we are. So you're right. We have a digital membership in which you get the magazine. We have a beautiful magazine that we produce quarterly, but you get the magazine, our newsletter, and all the other benefits of membership. Being a digital member, that's $50. That's for a full year. If you want to step that up, there's 1, 3, 5 year memberships. There's corporate memberships where if you and a buddy have a company and you want joint memberships, we do 2 memberships like that, and all the way up to life memberships, which run about 1,500 a year. So you can get involved at whatever level you want to, or whatever level you care to, pay for. Um, the cool thing that I hear from time to time again about this organization is that people join it because they want to learn more about hunting or international hunting. Some of them join it because they want to network. There's a lot of people that have made really good business contacts in this organization. So they'll talk to somebody, and Bill owns a pool company, and this guy owns a home remodel company, and then they partner or they refer business to each other, or people pick up clients. So it's really a, I hate to use the term family, but it's really, once you start to meet members and come to monthly events and volunteer, taking that membership to the next level, not just being a member and getting a magazine, but get involved. And if you live far away, you don't have to be involved. Just come to convention once a year, whatever. But we do something typically every month, whether it's a shooting event, a hunting event, a speaker event. There's always something happening going on. But it's a great way to connect and network with other people who've done things maybe you didn't do, who have resources maybe that you need, and or vice versa. And also, we don't do an outfitter referral service, but I can't tell you how time and time again I've heard horror stories where people go, I spent all this money, I flew halfway across the world, and it was a nightmare. And so that network that we have with the Houston Safari Club Foundation allows people to talk to other people, go, I'm going to go to New Zealand for the first time. Who's some outfitters you went with, and what were your experiences? So they can save them a lot of headache. Or what are the permits? What do I have to do to get there? That sort of thing. So it's really a pretty comprehensive, opportunity for people to get connected on so many different levels.
Good point, man. And that's so true that there's a lot of organizations where I've been a part of them too. You write that check, you get membership, maybe you get the newsletter, digital, magazine or whatever, and that kind of feels like it. But there is, I think, when you said like maybe you didn't want to use the word family, but that is an approach and something that I see within this. There's a community that comes together where you can share those types of resources, those kinds of friendships, being able to go and do one of the, like some shooting out at the range together and these events where you like learn together and with each other. And I think that's a very huge foundational thing for this organization is that there's always something going on. There's a heartbeat to this, right? And that's another thing too, like the newsletters that come out, like that's huge. At the very least, everyone needs to go and sign up for those on the website. But then you also have a podcast. I heard you have an amazing host that you guys have there, Hunting Matters, and I'd love for you to chat about that too here in a second. But these are things that a lot of organizations there's such an educational platform to all of this, and there's a lot of different ways to get it. You can get the Hunter's Horn magazine, you can turn into Hunting Matters, the podcast, the newsletters, these events, the convention. There's something for everyone, and I think that there is a magnitude of information that will be beneficial for anyone who decides to be a member. And I think that's one of the key things that drew me in and has drawn so many of friends and people I know in the industry to being supporters of the Houston Safari Club Foundation. So if you will, maybe just talk a little bit about the podcast too for a second and kind of,
Yeah.
how long have you been involved in that? And, kind of a little one-on-one on that, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. So I did want to point out because you made me think of something. So the digital memberships, people get a digital copy of the magazine. If you're a regular member, like a 135, you become not only a voting member of the organization. So anytime we have elections for bylaws changes or other activities, board members, that sort of thing, you become a voting member. So you're full on. You got all the rights and privileges. And to be quite honest with you, I'm old school. I like a good, beautiful magazine. I like a book in my hand. And we're very proud of our magazine. It's a very high quality magazine. It's award winning. We've won multiple awards from Marcom and all kinds of different organizations. And we're very proud of that. I'm proud of the team and staff that puts that together. But if you're a digital kid, I'm an analog kid in a digital world for, from some perspectives. But yeah, we try to reach out and communicate with people on all different levels, magazine, newsletter. And the cool thing about the magazine, it's not just first person hunting stories. I like to do medical. I like being a nurse. I like to have a medical article. I
Hmm.
like to hear about member stories. I like to give legislative updates. We like to do a culinary article. We like to do travel articles. Even if you're going to a country and you're like, it'd be cool if I could pair a hunt with, an excursion for a week off in some part of the country. So we do all those things, and the magazine's a little more, comprehensive to offer people, information on a variety of different topics. Um, the podcast we've been doing for quite a while now. I think we're at 230 plus episodes. It's a weekly 1 hour podcast. We interview people from all over the world, all walks of life. I interviewed a guy, who's actually rowing a boat across the Pacific Ocean to raise money. And I interview outfitters. I interview people who are chefs. We had one young lady on who has overcome tremendous obstacles that she incurred as a high school student in a car accident, and she's hunting out of a wheelchair. So we talk to people from all walks of life on the podcast. That anything affiliated with the outdoors, we like to talk to them. And I'm like you, I like to hear the human interest stories. So yeah, we're proud of that. We've been doing that for over 230 episodes, and it's all the major podcast platforms, and we do audio and video as well.
Oh, and it's very entertaining and educational, which is kind of right of the sweet spot for everything I want to learn. I want to learn something and walk away from it, but I want to have that heartbeat and that feeling of being able to kind of connect with those people and the guests. And you guys do a tremendous job. It's a wonderful podcast. So make sure everyone
Thank you.
tune into that. And I'll have all the links below to everything we're talking about too. So if you
Okay.
guys are trying to write something down or you're in a car, don't worry, just check out the show notes for that. Moving forward, I want to talk about the annual convention because today, when this drops, it'll be the 6 month mark until the convention doors open. People
Yep.
flood in, all some amazing exhibitors, events, galas. Let's just walk through, man, for those
Sure.
who have not been to one of the conventions with the Houston Safari Club before. Tell them what is it that they're going to experience. It's super affordable. You guys have some really great things. I think it's like free for kids 15 and under, really
Yep.
family focused. But yeah, like just walk us through that so kind of give people an idea of what to expect there.
So convention next year is January 23rd through the 25th, 2026. It's in the Woodlands, Texas, which is just outside of Houston. If you're flying in for it, you're literally 30 minutes from Bush International Airport out to the venue. We have it in north of Houston because the Woodlands is a really cool community.
Oh yeah.
If you want to bring your family to it and they don't want to go to the expo all day, or they want to go out and do something else during the weekend, you walk out the doors, there's probably 30, 40 pubs, restaurants, shopping center, really cool walking shopping center and things to do. It's all right there. And it's a very safe community. So we do our convention in a hotel expo hall type venue at the Marriott, the Woodlands Waterway Marriott. So the expo is on 2 floors, and then your hotel room is right there in the venue. So you really never have to leave if you don't want to. But if you want to go out, there's tons of stuff to do in that area. You can park your car for the weekend and you're done. You can walk around everywhere. And so the different components of, we start moving in for people who don't understand expos. We start moving in. I think the hotel staff moves in on Wednesday. We have exhibitors come in on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning set up. The expo runs Friday morning, all day Saturday, and Sunday until 3. And then at night, we have banquets. So Wednesday night we have an exhibitor. We love our exhibitors, so we really like to do stuff to make it worth their while, and they're really great supporters of ours. So Wednesday night we do an exhibitor and volunteer appreciation party at Conroe Taxidermy, not too far, and we shuttle people to and from the hotel. There's food, there's drinks. It's just a big social get together. Thursday night is our annual hunting and photo awards. Friday night's a little more casual, laid back, kind of country western theme. We do a dinner. We usually have some form of entertainment. We do a couple of talks and things like that. Let me back up. Thursday night, we've got a keynote speaker that's coming in. We're going to announce that soon, but you guys need to go to the website to stay tuned for that and entertainment updates. But Friday night's laid back casual. We have food, we have drinks, we have live auction. We try to minimize the mic time because people are there to have a good time. So we try to get all that stuff kind of out of the way on Thursday night and do all of our acknowledgement awards then. And then Saturday, our ladies group, the Gazelles, have a brunch and luncheon. It starts at 10:30, ends around 2, and it sells out every year. People come in, they grab a cocktail. There's a big silent auction, a live auction, usually entertainment. It's put on by the women, but there's men and women there that fill the room up. And then Saturday night is our what we call our gala. It's a black tie optional gala, a little more formal, but listen, formal in our world. I've seen camouflage tuxedos. I've seen all sorts of things. We're not stuffy. It doesn't matter. Just come and have a good time. And then that's the night we do our big live auction there as well. So there's auctions every event, and we have big cocktail receptions beforehand, and we do something kind of unique as far as fundraising on the floor of the expo hall all weekend. There's a big grand auction, a big grand raffle. You can buy tickets all weekend. We're doing speed raffles this year where there's going to be a one item we're going to raffle off just that day, each day of the expo. And then at night we do speed raffles before we open the doors to the banquets, like a really cool gun or something that we only sell 100 tickets for, and we usually sell them out at those events. And so there's, we don't do auctions all day, every day live auctions. We really want the focus to be on our exhibitors and the traffic on the floor, and we want our exhibitors to get clients. To be honest with you, to book hunts and buy merchandise and that sort of thing. So, and then Sunday morning we kind of wrap up with a little mini get together. We do a life member breakfast. So if you're a life member, you're invited to come. That we usually have an update on the organization, maybe have a guest speaker and that sort of thing. So, it's full, man. It's all weekend long, and then Sunday night when we're finally done, we actually myself and the staff take off and sleep for 2 days.
I can imagine. Well, I mean, this is a whole year in the works,
Oh yeah,
for
we
each.
start planning. Yeah, the day that one's over, the Wednesday after, we're already planning for the next year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's so much that's involved, and so many great different exhibitors. I've seen all the different speakers and the people you have come out in the keynotes before. I'm really excited for an announcement. Make sure you guys go and stay tuned for that on the website.
Yep.
And it's really great. Like, and it's very affordable. I think it's a wonderful place. I love the community all around the Woodlands. Like you said, safe. There's a great pulse there. So many things to do. So you can just get lost every day at the convention, or you can
Right.
go and move around as well and kind of have that balance with your family. But very family friendly, man. Bring the kids, bring everyone in your family, because there's something for everyone. There's a lot of games and
Yeah.
things for kids too. I mean, what a wonderful thing, man. So I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to that.
And I'd
Um,
be remiss. I got to mention something here. I
yeah,
know you're not going to plug it, so I am. You're going to be with joining us this year. And so
I
you're going to be there the entire weekend, and we're fired up about that because you're going to be doing some interviews there live from the site, and yeah, I mean, if you guys obviously you have a big fan base, so if you guys are fans of George, you should absolutely come down and say hello to him.
Well, yeah, I'm very excited about it. I mean, teaming up with the best here, man. I'm so excited to be a part of this organization and help out wherever I can. I'll be doing live interviews. I'll be going around to the exhibitor booths and kind of taking photos and videos, short interviews. We'll be doing a lot of live podcasts there. And, as you mentioned that too, this is the 6 month mark out from the convention, and every month leading up to the convention I will be hosting a podcast, an interview with, whether it's maybe a partner that you guys are working with, maybe it's one of the big sponsors. There's so many different organizations that you guys have worked with, and exhibitors and great companies all around. So we're going to dig in deep and chat a lot with those and kind of give you guys a better sense of what's going to happen at this convention every single month, because you guys can go and get your tickets today, and I strongly suggest you do. Go over and check out the website, and like, again, links are down below, because man, it's moving forward, and you want to make sure you get one of those spots, especially if you're any exhibitors that are on the fence. If you haven't already signed up, get out there and get involved.
Yeah.
This is the best of the best. It's a wonderful convention, and I'm just excited to be playing a small part in this, man. It's very, very exciting for me.
We're excited you're going to be part of it. And you mentioned exhibitors. Our deadline for cutoff for exhibitor applications was July 1st. I mean, you got to have a deadline that we can work to.
Yeah.
But exhibitors can still apply. We haven't placed our booths yet. We'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks. But the thing when I ask exhibitors why they come to the show, they're like, well, listen, you guys aren't the biggest. I mean, there are shows out there with 500 exhibitors plus, and we want all the outdoor conservation groups to do well for their conventions. To be quite honest with you, because if one of us doesn't do well, none of us do well. We all have goals of awareness and wanting to give back to the outdoors. But the thing our exhibitors will tell us, the ones that come back year after year, is you put numbers through the door, you put good quality buyers in the room. They bought our donations at auction, and then they came and booked, and they booked other hunts with us, or they referred other people, or they were back the next 3 years in a row. So I think that the audience that we provide the exhibitor is a qualified buying audience. You're going to have tire kickers just like you do at every show.
Sure.
But they're first timers coming out looking to book their first big game hunt, all the way to people who've hunted all over the world. They're looking for something new and unique. So I'll just say this to exhibitors: if you haven't put an application in, you should do it. Don't hold back. Do it now, because in a couple of weeks we're going to be placing, and we really try to. Of course, we have a priority point system where we have exhibitors, that've been with us for 20 years, have certain, points because they've accumulated them over the year. But what we try to do, for not only for the exhibitors but for the attendees, is we try to mix. We try to have a good mix. We don't want somebody to come in and walk down an aisle and it's 20 exhibitors from the same part of the world. We try to have a good mix from that's representative of all types of hunting from all types of the world, and merchandise and guns and all those sorts of things. So, if you're an exhibitor and you're listening to this or watching this podcast, put your application in. I mean, it's not only is it a great show, it's a fun show. And we also provide lunch tickets for our exhibitors. We have some really cool food trucks we park in front of the hotel, so we feed our exhibitors too.
Hey, that's the key, right? If you're working hard, you got to have the fuel.
You can't go to the restaurant. I mean, if it's you and mom, working your booth, you can't leave the booth for an hour. So run outside with your food truck ticket, grab some food, or most of them give you a buzzer when your order's ready. You run out there and grab it again and go back in. You never lose a step when you're working.
There you go, everyone. I don't know how else you can sell that the right way. I mean, it's food to the belly, right? No, it's good stuff, man. Well, Joe, is there anything else that you'd like to say, maybe to the people who have been supporters of the Houston Safari Club Foundation for all these, decades, and the people who are, maybe on that fence in the first time? Hey, I'm thinking about going to the convention, but they're not 100% sure. Why don't you go ahead and just close it out and let us know your feelings on those.
Well, we wouldn't exist if it weren't for the people that support us. Everybody from members to our sponsors, our corporate partners, our exhibitors, all those people are vitally important to helping us maintain what we can do. At the end of the day, we couldn't do it without those people contributing in some form or fashion. It's really cool to be part of an organization that gives back. And that's why I do what I do. And so, if you're thinking about coming, just come to convention and check us out. We also we do convention giveaway every year to all of our attendees. Last year we gave away ammo cans. This year, I wish I had mine with me. Actually, it's probably in my truck. This year we're giving away the rifle rest bag. So, I mean, you're going to get a free gift when you come to convention, and it's well worth the time to come in and see what's happening to support an organization such as ours. And so, I encourage you, if you're an exhibitor, you want to get in. If you're thinking about becoming a member, come on down. But just come on down and say hello and check us out and see what we're about. So.
Nice. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if you come into the convention, you also get a digital membership for the entire year, right?
Yep. We're going to give away, when you go to the booth and get your freebie, you're going to get a free digital membership. But that doesn't mean you can't stop by the membership booth and sign up for a 1, 3, 5-year lifetime membership as well.
No, absolutely. I think that is super important. I mean, like you said, getting the magazine in your hands, man, it's important. And there's
give
all
the digital membership to the brother-in-law you don't like, and go and get yourself a full voting membership.
Yeah, there you go. Here, I'm going to help you become a better hunter.
Sure.
And I'm going to get the good stuff. Hey, listen, it works all around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for joining me today. I cannot wait to continue to work with you and, kind of give people a firsthand account of what's going on in the convention for those who can't make it. And just, for those who can't make every single moment there, I will be documenting all the different galas, the events that are going on. So make sure you follow my page and make sure you go over to wehuntwegive.org. Join today. Go ahead and get your tickets, reserve your rooms. And if you're an exhibitor, go ahead, sign up, get this thing going, be a part of this, because what a wonderful organization and what a great convention. I cannot wait, sir.
Thanks, George. I appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing you here in Houston.
All right. You too. You take care.
You too, man.
All right. Bye-bye.